On this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a beautiful placemat. This is a beautiful gift that you can give to somebody else or keep it for yourself because they're really pretty. You might not want to give them away. I'm going to be using cotton. This is 100% cotton, size 4, a 3.5mm hook. My dog has not gotten to this hook yet. We'll see how long it takes her. A yarning needle, just your traditional yarning needle here, and some scissors. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to start with a magic circle. My magic circle, I don't know how you do it, but this is how I do it. I just make a twist here, leaving a tail, and then I'm pinching it down with my fingers. I'm going to insert my hook into the loop and then grab my yarn and pull it through and then chain 1. And that kind of closes my circle. I untwist it and here we have it. So now into the magic circle, we're going to work essentially 10 half double crochets, but the first one's going to be different. We are going to start by doing 1 single crochet. So insert your hook into the ring and do a single crochet. And now we're going to chain 1. That combination of single crochet and chain 1 basically counts as a half double crochet, and you'll understand why later. Now we're going to do 9 half double crochets. So we yarn over, insert our hook into the ring, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. I'm going to do this a total of 9 times. This is my second one. This is my third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And it's just 9 half double crochets because those plus the first single crochet chain 1 that you worked, which counts as a half double crochet, all that together is 10 stitches. So now we're going to close off our circle. We're going to pull that the end, the tail. We're going to pull it to close. And now we're going to do a slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of the row. So not the single crochet chain 1, but the first actual half double crochet. So technically the second stitch of the row. You insert your hook into it, grab the yarn, and pull through to close. And this here is the end of row 1. So what we're going to be working is a flat and perfect circle. In order to do that, we are going to be starting every row a little bit differently. So pay attention. This is important. I'm going to remove my hook. I'm going to bring it behind that stitch that I did the slip stitch into. So you insert your hook through there. Now I can place the loop back onto the hook. And now we're going to bring this backwards. And we're going to start from this spot. To be completely honest, I don't know what this does. I just followed someone else's tutorial, so I'm going to leave it linked below because maybe on the description of her video she goes through in more detail why that is. Or if somebody knows, please tell me in the comments. So we're going to start every row doing this. Now we're going to start row 1. We're going to do into this same stitch that we're currently in. We're going to start with a single crochet and a chain 1. So you insert your hook there, grab the yarn and pull through, do a single crochet, and then a chain 1. And again, this is exactly how we're going to start every single row, and this counts as a half double crochet. Now in this row, it's a row of increases, meaning 2 stitches per stitch. So this was our first one. Into the same spot, you're going to do a half double crochet for your second stitch. And that's an increase. Now you move on to the next stitch and you want 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So here is 1, and this is the second one into the same stitch. So that's your increase. And that's what you want to do all the way around moving forward. You're going to do 2 half double crochets into each of the stitches of the row. So you're going to have a total of 20 stitches since you finished the previous row with 10. I'm going to do this all the way around. I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I haven't done the very last one because I kind of want to show you. it's going to go into the stitch that was the first stitch of the previous row. So if I count my stitches right now, I have 18 all the way around, meaning I'm missing 2. That last one's a little harder to see. So, but basically you want to do it into the top of the first stitch of the previous row, which was the single crochet chain 1 combo. So into that top of that stitch, which can be a little tight at the beginning, we're going to do our final set of increases. So 2 half double crochets into the same spot. For me, it kind of bulges up a little bit. So I kind of go into a bit of a random spot, but if you're better than me, you might be able to figure that out. I haven't had an issue with it yet, even if I go, obviously, as long as it's along the same side of that single crochet chain 1 of the previous row. And here we have it. We've done basically 20 stitches all the way around, including that single crochet chain 1 from the beginning. To finish off this row, you want to do a slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of the row. So not the single crochet chain 1, but the first half double crochet. So we insert our hook into it, grab the yarn and pull through to close. And this here is the end of row 2. Moving forward, we're going to be just doing rows of increases with stitches in the middle. And it's important to remember that there is that single crochet chain 1 over here, and that's the one that you're going to work your final stitch into. We're going to do a few rows together. I might do maybe up to 5 or 6 rows with you. So starting row 3, remember we want to remove our hook, insert it in the same stitch that you did the slip stitch into. You insert your hook from the back to the front, like so. Now you can go ahead and place your loop back onto the hook. Oh, sorry. Back onto the hook like that. And now you can bring the yarn backwards so that you can start from this point. Now we're going to start row 3. We're going to go into that same stitch with a single crochet. And then a chain 1. And by the way, doing it this way is going to help to make both a perfect circle, but also it's going to be flat. So that's kind of what this does when you start your rows like that. And now for this row, we want to do a row of 1 half double crochet and then an increase. 1 half double crochet, increase, 1 half double crochet, increase. So this counts as a first half double crochet. Into the next one, we want an increase, meaning 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. Into the next stitch, just 1 half double crochet. Into the next one, an increase. So here is 1 and 2. Into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet. Into the next stitch, an increase. And that's what you want to do all the way around. 1 half double crochet, increase, 1 half double crochet, increase. So do that and I'll see you to do our last. You're going to end at an increase and I'm going to see you at the end so we can do that one together. Make sure that you're not confused with the end there. Okay. I just did my second to last increase and I just want to show you here. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. You have 1 stitch left, which is where you're going to do your final half double crochet, just the 1. And now your increase needs to go into that stitch that was on the previous row was single crochet chain 1. So we're going to find that stitch, insert our hook into it, and then do our half double crochet. And one more time because you need an increase over here, given that it's your last stitch. And now we can go ahead and finish this row by doing a slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of this row. Not the single crochet chain 1, but the first half double crochet. We insert our hook into it, grab the yarn, and pull through to close. So we're going to move on to row 4. We're going to remove our hook and now insert it through that same stitch that you did the slip stitch into. Grab the yarn and put it on top again. And now pull it through the back. We're going to start from here. You're going to insert your hook into the stitch and then do a single crochet. And now a chain 1. That's our first stitch, counts as a half double crochet. Now for this row, we want 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, then increase. So 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. In this case, just 1. I'm just going to do it with you to not confuse you. That's 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, then increase. And then we start the row repeat, which is 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So here is 1 and here is 2. And then into the next, increase. Let's do it one more time together. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Here is 1 and 2. And then increase. So do this all the way around. I'll see you when we're at the end and we're going to do our last increase together. Okay, I just did my second to last increase of the row. And so I just want to do the last one with you, the last repetition. We're going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. This is my last, technically last half double crochet of the previous row. And now we're going to do our final increase into that spot where there is a single crochet and chain 1 in the previous row. So it feels a little tight, but that is where you want to go. This one is extra tight. There we go. And now just do an increase into that spot. And that here is the end of the row. We're going to insert our hook into the first half double crochet of the row. So not the single crochet chain 1, but the next stitch, which is the first half double crochet of the row. Into it, we want to do a slip stitch. Moving on to the next row, and every row forward, I'm just going to verbalize and leave in writing what you want to do because it's pretty self-explanatory. Now that you know how to start the row by removing your hook, inserting it through the back, pulling it back, and then starting from that spot, each first stitch of the row is that single crochet chain 1 into the stitch that you have a slip stitch into. And now to grow the circle, you just want to be adding 1 more stitch between increases. So for example, this last row that we did was 1 half double crochet into each of the into 2 stitches and then increase. So the next one would be 1 half double crochet into 3 stitches, then increase. The next row would be 4 increase. The next row would be 5 increase. The next row would be 6 increase. Making sure that you start every single row by doing that trick of moving the yarn to the back and then doing 1 single crochet chain 1, which counts as a half double crochet, then doing the stitches around and making sure, of course, that every last increase is going to be worked into the single crochet chain 1 of the previous row, as I've shown you now 3 times. So you simply grow the circle until the width that you want, and then we're going to move on to the edge. I just finished my circle, and this is my 18th row. Essentially what I have going on here is 1 half double crochet into each of the next 16 stitches and then an increase. 1 half double crochet in the next 16 stitches, increase, and so on. And so now what I want to show you is how to change to our next color to work the lining. So you're going to grab your color B, and now we're going to make a slip knot. And I'm going to connect it to the very first half double crochet of the previous row where you did your slip stitch into. I'm going to insert my hook, grab my new color, and now pull it forward. I'm also going to hide this tail in the back, so I'm just going to grab it, and my first few stitches I'm going to do around all 3 threads. So for this row, we're going to start with a chain 1, and then into the same stitch that you're currently in, do a single crochet. And for this row, we're going to do single crochets all the way around. we want to basically do the same amount of stitches as you had in the previous row. So as I mentioned, in my case, it's 16 increase, 16 increase. So this first row that you make for the lining is going to be that number plus 1. So in my case, it would be 17 single crochets, increase, 17 single crochets, increase. And I say that plus 1 in case you have more or less rows than me. You're gonna just want to follow however many stitches you've left with the main color. So again, this one's going to be 17 single crochets for me. I just made my first one. This is my second, third, fourth, and I'm going to do a total of 17. I'll see you when I'm done that to do the increase. Okay, I just did my 17th single crochet. So in the next stitch, you want to do an increase, meaning 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So that's 1 and 2. And that's what you want to repeat all the way around. We're going to do 1 single crochet into each of the next 17 stitches, then increase, 17 stitches, increase, 17 stitches, increase. I'll see you when you're done. Okay, so I just went all the way around my single crochets and increases, and I just did my very final increase. So now to finish off this row, we're going to do a slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the row. Here we go. And now we're going to do the final row, which is the one that adds that beautiful lining. So we're going to start with a chain 1, and into that same stitch, you want to do a single crochet. And now we're going to start the row repeat. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, and into the next we're going to work 4 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then do 1 single crochet. And that ends the repeat. Let's do it again together. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, into the next 2, 4 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and into the next do a single crochet. And there we have it. That's what the lining is going to look on the outside. So you just want to repeat this all the way around, and I'll see you when you're almost at the end here. I just did my final cluster of double crochets, and you'll notice, well, if you have the same amount of stitches as me, then you'll notice that there are 3 stitches left at the end instead of 2, but that's okay. We are going to end with 1 more. If you have more stitches than me or less stitches than me, you might end differently here. So you might have to skip an extra stitch, or you might have 1 less stitch to skip. As long as you finish off with the clusters of double crochets, a chain 2, and then a slip stitch into that first single crochet of the row. So in my case, I have 1 extra stitch, but it doesn't really matter. No one's gonna know except for you and me, and maybe a really, really good crocheter. So you can go ahead there, and we're all done. You can cut off your yarn, thread your ends through. Also, I wanted to mention that there's a little bit of waves happening. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to block it. So my personal favorite way to block things is against like a little mat with pin or with like needles, and then using, what is this called? One of those steamers against the piece and letting it just dry. So I'm going to be doing that with each one of these. You don't have to. I think it's good enough. Like if I stretch it out with my hands, it's fine. But if you want to add a little bit more love to this, or maybe just weight on it, I think it should help the material kind of soften and flatten a little bit better.